We're going to look at this problem that's real similar to the last problem on the graded problems too. It says to solve by factoring, but when you look at it, it doesn't look like you're going to be doing any sort of factoring. But we're going to have to do two things before we can really do a whole lot of factoring. Is first we're going to have to fraction bust and collect all our like terms and all that kind of stuff. And we'll also mention what are the bad values of x. So I got an x in the denominator here, so x can't be 0 from that. And also x can't equal 8 right here because we have x minus 8. So if we plug 8 in, we get 0 in the denominator. And remember, dividing by 0 wasn't good. So we'll go ahead and mention those things here. So we'll note that the x cannot be 0 or 8. And the LCD here, or LCM, is going to be x minus 8 with an x. So it's actually, here's our LCD right here. It's got the factor of x and the factor of x minus 8. So we got all our bases there. So that's what our LCD or LCM is. And what we're going to do is we're just going to fraction bust. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by x minus 8. So every term gets multiplied by x minus 8 over 1 because they're all fractions. And after we do this, then it'll be a little bit nicer here. And I'm putting some parentheses around the denominator of the x minus 8 in this first piece just because we're multiplying, just to help me remind myself that we're doing some multiplication. And we're just multiplying both sides by x minus 8 over 1, x minus 8 over 1, and then we'll go ahead and start canceling some stuff down. And let's see what happens. The x minus 8's cancel in the first piece, the x's cancel in the second piece, and the x minus 8 cancels in the third piece. So what's left over in that first piece is 2x minus 7. On the second piece we have an x minus 8 and a 5 left over, and on the last piece we just have a negative 5, and it should not say x there, so for whatever reason it got written in there. So let's see if that gets fixed here. So there shouldn't be an x right here. That looks like a mistake to me. Okay, so we're going to fix that right here. So I did catch myself making that mistake there, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this. That x there was an accident. It happens. Now what we're going to do is we're going to distribute. So what I'm looking at is right here. So I'm going to do 2x times the quantity x minus 7, so that gives us 2x squared minus 14x. And then we'll distribute the 5 through to give us 5x minus 40. And then we just have minus 5. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to combine my like terms. Got minus 9x. And the minus 35 comes from, I added 5 to both sides. So negative 40 plus the 5 made a positive. I'm sorry, it doesn't make a positive, but it makes a negative 35. And at this point in time, I'm going to factor it. I'm going to do it by guess and check. You could do it by the various methods we've factored this before, and you can check to see if it factors, and it certainly does. And so my factors are 2x plus 5 and x minus 7, and I'm going to go ahead and solve both of those. So for the first one, I'll subtract 5 and then divide by 2 and get x is equal to negative 5 halves, or x is equal to 7. Notice that we could not have been equal to 0 or 8, but that's neither one of those, so we're good. And let's look at one other one. And in the one that says solve using the quadratic formula. And I'm going to work this one all the way through. On your homework you might get to a point where you have complex solutions, and that's fine. You can say there's no real solutions, but you have to at least get to that point. So you have 4y squared minus y plus 3. I'll tell you what my a, b, and c are. So a is 4, b is negative 1, c is 3. So x is equal to a negative boy is not sure whether he wants to go to a radical party because he's a square. He misses out on 4 awesome chicks, and the party's all over at 2 a.m. And then we're going to go ahead and plug some stuff in here. So we're placing a, b, and c with what they were supposed to be. And I'm going to mention that this negative sign right here, that one right there in green, that comes with the formula, so don't forget it. And we'll go ahead and simplify down, and you're going to get Square root of 16 minus 48 over 8. 1 plus or minus square root of negative 32 over 8. Since this is one of the sections where we're keeping it real, we could just say at this point in time there's no real solution and be done with it. But we're going to be doing complex numbers this week too, so we can go a little bit further. I'll make sure I say that we're going to solve over the complex numbers. So you could say that there's no real solution if that ends up happening on that graded problems too. Okay. Negative 32 is the same thing as negative 16 times 2. Why I write it that way is because 16 is a large perfect square in 32. So 1 plus or minus 4i root 2 all over 8. And you could say no real solution on the graded problems too.